What if I told you that everything you're looking for, success, peace, purpose, power, is already in you, but you've been too distracted to see it? What if I told you that 30 minutes a day could rewrite the rest of your life? See, most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they forget who they are. They settle for average. They settle for just enough. They settle for survival, when deep down their soul is screaming for something more. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you looked in the mirror and truly recognized the person staring back at you? Not the mask you wear for the world, not the job title, not the follower count. I'm talking about you, the real you, the version of you that still believes in dreams you haven't even spoken out loud. This right here, this moment, this is your wake-up call. You didn't press play by accident. Something inside you is hungry, restless. You're here because a part of you knows there's more to give, more to do, more to become. You might be tired, you might be hurt, you might be doubting if you've got anything left in the tank. But let me tell you something. Diamonds are made under pressure. Lions don't apologize for being lions. And legends are just ordinary people who made an extraordinary decision not to quit. So if you're going to watch anything today, let it be this. Not just with your eyes, but with your soul. Watch it like your life depends on it, because it just might. You want to change your life? Then let's begin. You can't build a skyscraper on a cracked foundation, and you can't build a great life on a weak vision. Everything starts with what you see when your eyes are closed. Vision. That picture in your mind that burns so bright, it keeps you up at night. That thing that pulls you out of bed when your body wants to stay down. That purpose that's so loud, excuses don't even have room to speak. That's where transformation begins. But the truth is, most people never get that far. You know why? Because the second life gets uncomfortable, they start building walls made of excuses. I didn't grow up with the right opportunities. I don't have the connections. It's too late for me. No, what it is that it's easier to make an excuse than it is to face the truth, that you're responsible for where you are and for where you're going. You don't get to pick the cards you're dealt, but you do decide how you play them. And vision? Vision is the strategy. It's the blueprint. Excuses are the distractions. And you can't build destiny while you're busy defending your limitations. You either believe in your potential or you protect your comfort. But you can't do both. People wait for motivation. They wait for a sign. They wait for someone to come along and tell them, now is the time. But that's not how greatness works. The ones who build something from nothing, the ones who rise up from the pain and the doubt and the fear, they don't wait for a sign. They become one. They close their eyes and they see it. The business, the health, the freedom, the peace, the impact. They don't care how far it feels. They don't care how slow the process is. They move, they act, and every step they take, they remind themselves, I'm not doing this for applause. I'm doing this because I refuse to die with this dream still inside me. But to see the vision, you have to silence the noise, the opinions, the doubt, the guilt. Some of you have dreams that were buried because of what somebody said about you 10 years ago. Some of you stopped believing because your plan didn't go the way you thought it would the first time. You let the failure define your future instead of refining your focus. Listen to me. Rejection is not a closed door, it's redirection. The delay is not denial. The valley is not the end. It's where you grow, where your roots get strong, where your clarity gets sharp. You think you're stuck? You're not stuck. You're being shaped, molded, prepared. But you can't see any of that unless your eyes are fixed on something bigger than your pain, bigger than your past, bigger than your fear. Vision doesn't care where you come from. It only asks, are you willing to go where most people won't? Most people want the outcome, but not the obedience. They want the lifestyle, but not the late nights. They want the results, but not the routine. Let me tell you something. Vision without execution is just a fantasy. You can talk all day about what you're going to do, but until your actions match your ambition, it's just noise. You want to change your life? Start with what you see when no one else believes. Start with the version of yourself that doesn't yet exist, but will. And then live like it's already done. Wake up every morning and act like the person who's already achieved it. Walk like it, talk like it, think like it. Carry yourself like someone who knows where they're headed. Not because the path is easy, but because the purpose is clear. Vision gives you endurance. It gives you direction. It gives you the strength to keep walking when everyone else quits. When the crowd walks away, vision keeps you planted. When you fail, and you will, vision reminds you why you started. When doubt whispers, vision roars louder. It tells you you didn't come this far to come this far. And don't you dare compare your journey to someone else's. Stop scrolling through other people's highlight reels while your purpose collects dust. You don't need to follow trends when you're born to set the standard. You don't need to copy greatness when you've got your own version of it waiting to be unlocked. But you have to see it. You have to choose to see it. No more waiting for permission. No more living like you've got forever. No more hiding behind someday. This is your life. And the future isn't something that just happens, it's something you design. One decision, one discipline, one day at a time. So write the vision. Speak it out loud, feel it in your bones, put it somewhere you can see it every single day. And when fear shows up, and it will, let it know, it has no place in the presence of purpose. Let it know your mind is made up. Let it know the only direction you're moving is forward. Because when you live with vision, excuses don't stand a chance. Everybody wants something. Success, happiness, confidence, freedom. But wanting isn't rare, it's easy. Anybody can want. What separates the winners from the watchers is what they're willing to do when nobody's watching. That's the difference between wanting and working. You see, dreams are cheap. Effort is expensive. People talk about their goals like they're just waiting for the stars to align, like there's some magic moment coming where everything will just click. But that moment doesn't come. It's not real. What's real is mornings when your body begs you to stay in bed, but your purpose pulls you out. What's real is pushing through exhaustion, pushing through boredom, pushing through doubt, because the work matters more than the move. You say you want success, but are you working like someone who deserves it? You say you want to change, but are you moving like someone who refuses to stay the same? Talk is cheap. You can stand in front of a mirror and speak affirmations all day long, but until your actions back it up, nothing changes. Working means doing it when no one claps, when no one notices, when there's no applause, no spotlight, no validation. Working means choosing discipline over distraction. It means saying no to comfort and yes to growth, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. The problem is, people confuse motion with progress. They stay busy, scrolling, planning, talking about what they're going to do. They chase motivation like it's a drug. But motivation is fleeting. Some days it shows up, some days it doesn't. Working, that's a choice. It's a decision you make every single day, regardless of how you feel. That's the key. Working when you don't feel like it. That's what builds momentum. That's what builds grit. That's what builds character. Everybody sees the finished product. They see the highlight reel, the victory speech, the glow up. What they don't see is the grind behind closed doors, the sacrifices, the sweat, the tears, the 100 times you failed before you finally got it right. They don't see the days you wanted to quit, but didn't. They don't see the discipline when no one's looking. That's the quiet part of success, the stuff nobody claps for. You're not going to want to do it every day. That's normal. You'll have doubts, you'll get tired, you'll feel like it's not working. But feelings don't build legacies. Consistency does. Faith does. Effort does. And not just when you feel inspired. Anyone can work when they're hyped up. What matters is what you do when the hype is gone and all that's left is you and the grind. You say you want to be great, but are you training like it? Are you sacrificing for it? Are you willing to be misunderstood for it? Because here's the truth. To get what few have, you must be willing to do what few will. You have to outwork yesterday. Outwork your doubt. Outwork your fear. Every day you wake up, you're in a race. Not with other people, with your potential. With who you could be if you just stopped making excuses. Every day is a vote. Every decision is casting a vote for the future you're building, or the future you're avoiding. Some people wait for the perfect time, but perfection is the enemy of progress. There is no perfect time. Just now, just this minute, this choice. That's how working beats wanting, through action, through repetition, through showing up, especially when it's hard, especially when no one believes but you. You know what separates people who make it from people who don't? It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's endurance. It's consistency. It's that quiet, relentless spirit that says, I'm not leaving here without what I came for. If you want results, you have to do the reps. If you want mastery, you have to embrace monotony. Because the greatest breakthroughs are born in the smallest habits, done with ruthless commitment over time. You're not going to feel like doing it every day. That's the whole point. If it were easy, everybody would have it. But they don't. You know why? Because when it got tough, when it got boring, when it got inconvenient, they stopped. You can't, not if you're serious. So ask yourself, what's it worth to you? That goal, that future, that version of yourself that you say you want so bad. Is it worth the late nights? Is it worth the early mornings? Is it worth the discomfort? Because if it's not, you don't want it bad enough. You get what you tolerate. You get what you work for. Not what you wish for. Not what you dream about. But what you grind for in silence when no one believes in you. When everything in you wants to quit. When the results aren't showing up yet. That's the test. And if you pass it, everything changes. So stop saying you want it. Show me. Show yourself. Every single day, whether you feel like it or not. That's how you change your life. Not in some big explosion of inspiration, but in the quiet, consistent, gritty repetition of showing up. Every day, every time, every step, until the dream becomes your reality. That's the difference between wanting and working. Pain is part of the process. It's the price of growth. No one escapes it. Not the strong, not the successful, not the chosen. The question is not whether you'll feel pain. The question is what you'll do with it. Will it break you or will it build you? See, most people run from pain. They avoid it. They numb it with distractions, social media, food, entertainment, other people's approval. But all that does is delay the inevitable. Because the pain doesn't disappear. It just waits. And if you keep running from it, it will meet you again down the line. Stronger, heavier, and harder to face. But here's what people don't talk about. Pain has a purpose. It's a teacher. It reveals things about you that comfort never will. Pain shows you what you're made of. It shows you where you still have room to grow. It shows you what you care about enough to fight for. And you're going to feel it. When you're chasing something bigger than yourself, when you're trying to change your life, rewrite your story, break generational patterns, you are going to feel pain. The pain of sacrifice, the pain of discipline, the pain of rejection, the pain of failure. But that pain is temporary. It doesn't last. It fades. You push through the workout and your muscles scream, but in a few hours, that burn is gone and you're stronger. You stay up late, building your dream instead of scrolling your life away. And yeah, it hurts. You're tired. But it passes, and what you built in that moment of pain, that stays with you. Now compare that to regret. Regret is different. Regret doesn't fade. Regret doesn't pass. It lingers. It echoes. It follows you. It keeps you awake at night, whispering about the chances you didn't take, the words you didn't say, the risks you avoided, the time you wasted, the version of you that you never became. And when that regret shows up, there's no comfort, no relief, no at least I tried, because you didn't. You chose easy over meaningful. You chose comfort over calling. You chose later over now. And regret reminds you every single day of what could have been. You have a choice. Every time you face a challenge, every time you feel that resistance in your soul, you're being asked, will you endure the temporary pain of effort, or will you choose the permanent pain of regret? That's the trade-off. That's the deal life offers. And make no mistake, you will pay. The only question is, what will your pain produce? Growth or grief? The people who change the world, the ones we read about, admire, follow, they weren't stronger than you. They just made a decision. They chose the pain of hard work over and over until the dream became real. They didn't skip the struggle. They just didn't let it stop them. And no, it's not easy. Some days you'll cry. Some days you'll fall. Some days you'll wonder if it's even worth it. But every time you get back up, every time you fight through the noise in your head and take another step forward, you're building something. Not just results, but resilience, character, power. That's the kind of person you want to become. Not someone who has it easy, but someone who's unstoppable. Someone who feels the pain and chooses purpose anyway. Someone who can look back years from now and say, I didn't give in. I didn't give up. I paid the price, and it was worth it. You see, life rewards the bold, the persistent, the ones who aren't afraid to sweat, to struggle, to sacrifice. Pain doesn't scare them. Wasted potential does. Missing the moment does. Living a life that looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside, that terrifies them. You might not be able to control what life throws at you, but you can control how you respond. You can control how much you give. You can decide right now that you will not settle for a life that's only half lived. If it hurts, let it hurt. If it's hard, lean into it. If you're tired, rest. But don't you dare quit, because that temporary pain, that's proof that you're alive, that you're stretching, that you're moving in the right direction. It means you're not numb. It means you're not stuck. It means you're doing the work. So when the pain comes, and it will, you remind yourself, this is what transformation feels like. This is what becoming who I'm meant to be feels like. And it won't last. But the victory, the growth, the pride that comes from knowing you faced it head on, that will. You're stronger than you think. You've survived things you thought would break you, and you're still here. Which means you've got more in the tank, more to give, more to live for. Don't let a moment of pain steal a lifetime of purpose. Remember this, pain is temporary, but regret, that stays with you. Choose wisely. There are 3 things that will carry you through every storm, every setback, every season of uncertainty: faith, focus, and forward motion. You can't control everything in life. You won't always feel strong. You won't always have clarity. But if you can hold on to those 3 things, you'll make it through anything.
Faith is where it all begins, not blind hope, not wishful thinking, real faith. The kind that lives in your gut when nothing on the outside makes sense. The kind that whispers, keep going, when your mind screams, give up. Faith isn't about seeing the whole staircase. It's about trusting the first step even when it looks like there's nothing under your feet. It's believing in the possibility before the proof. It's the fuel that keeps you moving when logic says,
but faith alone won't move you. You can have all the belief in the world, but without focus, you'll get distracted by everything shiny but meaningless. Focus is your compass. It's the discipline to say no to what doesn't matter, so you can give everything to what does. And focus isn't just about blocking out the noise around you, it's about silencing the noise within you, the overthinking, the second guessing, the fear. Because if your mind is cluttered, your vision gets blurry. You start chasing too many things and catch none. Most people don't fail because they didn't have the potential. They fail because they scattered their energy in 100 different directions, instead of locking in on the one thing that could change everything. You have to train your mind to see the target and block out the distractions. You have to become obsessed with your vision, not in a toxic, unbalanced way, but in a powerful, disciplined, purpose-driven way. You need to know what you're chasing and why. And when the doubt creeps in, and it will, faith reminds you what's possible. Focus reminds you what's necessary. And then comes the most important part, forward motion. Because nothing works without movement. Nothing changes if you stand still. You can plan, you can dream, you can visualize it, talk about it, write it down, build vision boards, but until you move, it's all just potential. You don't need perfect, you don't need all the answers, you just need motion. One step, then another. That's how momentum is born. Forward motion doesn't mean giant leaps every day. It means progress. It means choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. It means showing up on the days when the results aren't showing yet. It means trusting that every small act of effort is building something you can't see yet.
See, motion creates clarity. Action kills fear. Every time you move, you learn something. You grow, you refine, you adjust. But if you stay frozen, overthinking, waiting for the right time, life passes you by. That's what happens to most people. They have the faith. They want to believe, but they don't have the focus. Or they have the focus, but no motion. So they stay stuck, watching others live the life they only dream about. But not you. Because you understand now that these 3 things are your foundation.
Faith gives you the inner strength. Focus gives you direction. And forward motion turns both into real change. That's the formula. It's not easy. It's not always pretty, but it works. Life will test you. You'll be tempted to quit. You'll be tempted to compare. You'll be tempted to lower your standards and play small. But when you've got faith, you remember who you are. When you've got focus, you remember where you're going. And when you've got motion, you're unstoppable. Some days, the faith will feel weak. That's okay. You don't need a flood of belief. A mustard seed will do. Some days, your focus will blur. That's okay too. Recenter, recalibrate, eliminate distractions. Some days, the motion will feel slow, but as long as you're moving, you're winning. Every step forward is a step out of the old and into the new. Every act of discipline is a seed planted in the soil of your future. Don't stop now. Don't look back. Don't give in to the noise, the critics, or the fear. You were built for more. When you live with faith, focus, and forward motion, you become a force. Not because everything is perfect, but because you made a decision. No matter what happens, I will not be broken. I will not be swayed. I will not stay stuck. I may get knocked down, but I will rise. I will rise with faith in my heart, fire in my eyes, and purpose in every step. Keep your head high. Keep your vision clear, and keep walking. Your future is waiting. Not in the past, not in the plans, but in your next step. Move toward it with faith, with focus, with forward motion. When it's all said and done, what will they say about you? What will be left when the lights go out and the noise fades? Will the world remember what you wore, what you drove, what kind of phone you had? Or will they remember how you made people feel, how you showed up, how you lifted others when you didn't have to? See, a lifestyle fades. A legacy endures. Too many people are chasing status, image, and validation. They're spending their energy trying to impress people who won't even remember their names. They're stacking up things that look good on the outside, but leave them empty on the inside. But legacy? That's different. Legacy isn't about what you have, it's about what you leave behind. It's not about accumulation, it's about contribution. Your lifestyle dies with you. Your legacy lives on through others. You were not put on this earth just to take up space, pay bills, and collect likes. You were put here to build, to serve, to impact. And deep down, you know that. That's why there's a restlessness inside of you when you're not aligned with your purpose. That's why the fancy things don't satisfy for long, because you weren't made for shallow living. You were made to matter. Legacy means living in a way today that echoes tomorrow. It's how you treat people when no one's looking. It's the standard you hold yourself to, not because it's easy, but because it's right. It's the time you take to lift someone else up, even when you're tired. It's the decision to stand for something, even when it would be easier to stay silent. And you don't have to be rich, famous, or powerful to leave a legacy. Legacy is not reserved for the elite. It's built by the consistent, the intentional, the ones who plant seeds every day knowing they may never sit in the shade, but someone else will. You want to change your life? Start thinking about how you're showing up for others, how you're showing up for yourself, what values you're embodying, not just preaching, because your life speaks louder than your words ever will. Ask yourself, if I disappeared tomorrow, what would people remember most about me? Would they remember your heart, your grit, your kindness, your integrity, or would they only remember what you had? The world needs more people living for something bigger than themselves. People willing to sacrifice the comfort of lifestyle for the power of impact. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy success. It doesn't mean you can't win, thrive, and live well. But don't let the lifestyle become the goal. Let it be the result of your legacy, not the reason for it. Some people inherit money, some people inherit businesses, but the greatest thing you can leave behind is character, faith, wisdom, courage. People forget what you owned. They never forget how you made them feel. They never forget the example you set. They never forget how you lived. You build a legacy when you refuse to settle, when you keep showing up, even when it's hard, when you use your pain as fuel and your story as a bridge to help others. You build a legacy when you lead with love, even in a world that makes it tempting to be cold. You build it when you do the right thing, not because someone's watching, but because you're watching. Legacy means you're not just chasing success for you. You're building something that inspires others long after you're gone. That kind of living demands more from you. It demands discipline. It demands purpose. It demands heart. You don't need to wait until the end of your life to start thinking about legacy. It starts now. In your choices, your habits, your attitude, your actions. Every moment is a brick. Every word you speak, every promise you keep, every life you touch. It all adds up. And when you shift your focus from lifestyle to legacy, your priorities change. You stop wasting time. You stop living to be seen, and you start living to make a difference. You stop chasing empty things, and you start pursuing things with eternal weight. The clothes you wear will go out of style. The money will come and go. The applause will fade. But what will last is the love you gave, the lessons you taught, the lives you changed. That's your legacy. That's what matters. So ask yourself every day, what am I building? What am I leaving behind? Who am I becoming? The goal isn't just to be remembered. The goal is to live in a way that the people you touched go on to touch others. That your children's children carry your values, not just your name. That the work you do today still echoes tomorrow. You're not here just to survive. You're here to leave something behind, to light a path for someone else, to be the example that says, yes, it's possible. Yes, you can overcome. Yes, you can be more. Live for that. Build for that. Work for that. Because at the end of the day, a lifestyle might impress people, but a legacy transforms them. One day, all the noise will stop. The world will quiet. The spotlight will dim, and you'll be left alone with the truth of who you are, how you lived, and what you gave to this world. And in that moment, it won't be about what you had. It'll be about who you became. It won't be about how fast you ran. It'll be about what you were running toward. This life is not a rehearsal. You don't get a do-over. Every second you waste, you never get back. So stop playing small. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. You are, right now, with what you have, where you are, as you are. The power is already inside you. The question is, will you use it? This is your wake-up call. This is your moment. The world is waiting, not for someone perfect, but for someone willing to believe, to focus, to move, to grow, to give, to build something that lasts. You've watched others rise. Now it's your turn. Don't just live, lead. Don't just survive. Build. Don't just exist. Impact. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break through. So make a decision. Every single day, show up. With faith, with focus, with fire. Do the work. Push through the pain. Walk with vision. Live with intention. And leave something behind that the world can't forget. Because your life, your one and only life, was never meant to be average. It was meant to be a legacy. Now go build it.